All right. We got video number 2 here. I did a Bitcoin video and miners and MicroStrategy yesterday. Today I'm going to be doing kind of covering the rest of the gang. So this weekend's market update is in 2 parts. This is the second part, looking at we're going to review Nasdaq first, SPY, quick Bitcoin recap on how I'm viewing things in the short term. You guys saw my long term yesterday. Also altcoins. We talked about those last week in the bonus video. ETH, Link, others, and then look at the dollar, look at yields, look at bonds. Okay. So we're gonna just dive into it, right? This last week in the Nasdaq was not pretty on a number of different technical viewpoints. However, we did talk about this last week, right? We talked about, if this was our 4 bottom here, if it wasn't our bottom, that we could potentially see a scenario like such, right, where we kind of come back to the bottom of this channel and then it goes. And so that's still in play, right? I mean, whether we go all the way back down to 12,747 region or not, we're going to find out. But from a technical perspective, I mean, the close just looks weak. And look, let's be honest, right? In the last few videos, when you hear me say things look weak, I mean, kind of a nice little counter signal, right? I did that with the Bitcoin video last Saturday, in terms of the daily close, and things reversed pretty quickly. So again, everyone's looking at the same things, right? Everyone's looking at this 30-week that was breached. Okay, everyone's kind of has their eyes on certain levels. My level of importance, and this line has been here since I've been doing these videos, goes all the way back to January 2021, because it defines the tale of 2 markets, right? It defines the tale of the end of this entire expansive move, right? I'm not calling it the end of the bull market, because this is, in my mind, just a bull market correction that we saw here on a secular basis. And so this area kind of highlights the impulse. This area highlights, kind of demarcates, it's like the tale of 2 markets, right? And so most of the price action that was traded in down here, we're still over. Okay, and what that line does and tells me, and the pivot point of this line was this area here, right, where the market attempted to reverse back in 2021, failed, and continued down. And remember, we talked about this before, right? We got a reclaim of the 30-week, but that didn't trump the stage this market was in. And right now, the stage that this market was in here was kind of distribution. Okay, distribution into this leg down, in my opinion, right? In my opinion, I'm not a financial advisor. And this is the accumulation. Okay, this was the downtrend, right? The downtrend into this accumulation base. And so that's how I'm viewing this market right now. I'm viewing the market as, right now, we're kind of back testing the accumulation base, and a lot like you see me do with the Bitcoin high time frame videos, right? I get more bullish the closer we get to key inflection points, key support levels in the market. And let's be honest, you could even draw this down to, I mean, so much of this price action, was even traded to below here, right? So, I mean, pick your level. I don't know how much more downside there is to go, but the way I'm looking at this tells me that the asymmetry at this point is to the upside, in my opinion. And I'm not a financial advisor. Don't take this as financial advice. Common disclaimers. This is just education. Do your own research. And let's look at one more point of confluence. This is a weekly chart, okay? This is a weekly chart. I've got a line at where we finished RSI. We closed below 50. That's not a good look. But we also closed below 50 back in March of this year, 2023, the same week that we lost the 30-week. And what did it do? What did it do the next week? Well, what did it do the next week? Same, and mind you, with the power of the move here, the momentum in the selling is equal to the momentum in the selling. And in this market right now, where is price? Okay. That's telling me a story that these are puzzle pieces I'm putting together, right? Our price is, let's just be accurate. Our price is, 18% higher. That's a lot. That's a lot for an indice. Okay, that's a lot for an indice since March. So March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, in 7 months. 7 months. So again, my bias has to remain. That this is just a correction, and although we could come down and test this just channel or even lower, we're closer to the bottom than we are to anything else. That's just my opinion, and that's how I'm reading this. Okay. Next chart, we're gonna do SPY. All right, SPY again. This again looks. This is just an ugly looking correction. Now the question here is, and I posted this one on Thursday on Twitter, calling or kind of announcing my adjusted count here when we were up here, right? We broke this trend line. I kind of looked at this as trend line support, good place for a possible bounce, maybe a little bit lower, but we went lower, right? And so this 2 here is still valid, right? So the key, the rule in Elliott wave here is that 2 cannot go deeper than the origin of the first impulse. Okay. But if it does, then this correction isn't over, right? So then my 4 here, my C here, the C wave isn't done, and we could be, looking at something down here. Again, same concept as before. Let me throw up the weekly chart here, and what I'm looking at. What is this? Same type of price action. In this indice, right? Where was the distribution? Where did that start? Up above this blue line. Where did the accumulation happen? Below this blue line. Okay, and same kind of confluence with that pivot point as we saw with the Nasdaq. So we're still above it. We're still above that accumulation range. And so, could there be some more downside to 415-ish? Yeah, but I still see the downside here is limited, and we're closer to a bottom than we are a top. And so that's the update on SPY. Let's check out Bitcoin. So not much has changed since the video yesterday. Again, we made the move out of this accumulation range, and now we are just hovering above a very key inflection point, where this preliminary support was kind of defined back in August, right? And no surprise, we were having trouble getting over a key technical area, right? Which the second point of confluence, which defined this downtrend. And so again, like I said yesterday, we could get the path here. I have no idea, right? I mean, an impulse moves. I'm just guessing. So again, we made a high here, a higher high here, a higher low here. And so anything above this 28,845 is just a higher low. I mean, so you could get a move, down to here, and then expansion continues. And again, I firmly believe we are in expansion. That's my opinion. And things are going to move fast with this market. Now, something else I did want to point out that I didn't yesterday is where our RSI is, right? This is not a very common occurrence. It hasn't been this year. So RSI is over 70. That's overbought. That's a good thing. I like seeing overbought RSI in Bitcoin. It doesn't do it that often. How often does it do it? Well, we got a little taste of it here in June. Okay, didn't quite get to the levels we're at right now. The last meaningful time that was spent in this region, and by meaningful time I mean the amount of time we're spending now. So Friday, October 23rd. Yeah, we're 4 days, 5 days, something like that. Let's just go back to the last time we started moving, and that was in this RSI overbought region. That was in January. Okay, and at this level that we're at right now, where was price? It was at 17,000 prior to the move it made, you know, within a few weeks to 24,000. So just another point of reference for folks that are looking at RSI like I do. Very, very interesting indeed. All right. So what, let me get rid of this, and then we're going to go to the next chart. Others from the video I did last weekend, I said I thought was looking primed. And it still is. I mean, we got a breakout, guys. We got a breakout. I know it's kind of hard to see on this chart, so I'm going to zoom in on the structure on others. This is a weekly chart. Now let's just go to a daily chart. And we are now, right now, this is the region that was highlighted on the weekly. We got a breakout, a little retest underway right now. And so my bias here has my bias remains that breakout is next. Okay. Remember what I said last time, right? The fact that you keep getting these wicks, these wick rejections, but the retraces are lower and lower and lower. Okay. Whereas, let me go back to weekly. When you're close to expansion, that's what you start to see. When you're just starting a decline, what do we see? This is what we noted last week. We see rejections on major trend lines that lead to what? Big moves down, right? Rejection, big move down. Rejection, big move down. Rejection, big move down. Rejection, big move down. Okay. And so that kind of was the tell on the others to kind of give me the hints that altcoins were shaping up, and some of them really have performed. So we're going to ETH. ETH from last week's video, I said really needed a big move here, given where we were in the structure. We got an okay move. I don't know if I've called this a big move. Got an okay move, but it's moving, and it's moving where it needed to. Right, kind of this area was like the last stand for me, and it's moving. And so for now, you know, just kind of keeping an eye on the structure. My expectation would be something, you know, something along the lines of, you know, a move like that. That would be my expectation, my base case expectation. And I'm not going to entertain bearish for right now, because the market is showing me strength with Bitcoin, and that's it. If I was seeing any weakness from Bitcoin, we're seeing the absolute opposite. We just entered expansion with Bitcoin, so I'm not going to be entertaining the bearish scenarios until something bearish were to happen to Bitcoin, and it just hasn't. It's the opposite. All right, Link looks like it's, you know, it's broken out of an accumulation range, partially broken out of accumulation range. This is a weekly chart, right, going all the way back to its cycle high, May 21st. Or May 2021, got your downtrend, broke out of the downtrend, retest, broke through this cloud. That's big. That's big. 30-week. So, you know, keep an eye on this. Who knows which way this is going to go? These impulse moves, I don't like chasing. I'm not in Link. I'm not in, you know, but you could get some consolidation here before a move. Who knows? Who knows with these things? Just kind of keeping an eye on it. Last three charts. So we've got the dollar, and again, we haven't really confirmed the reversal, but we haven't confirmed that it isn't either, right? This gravestone doji from a couple of weeks ago, I said the key is what's going to happen last week. And if we just zoom in to the daily chart, we're still intact. This downtrend is still intact. All we have are a series of downtrend broken, and we've got a lower high, we've got a lower high, lower low, lower low. Okay, so not much change there. Still looks like a downtrend's intact. We'll keep an eye on that one. 10-year, to me, this looks like, if there's going to be a reversal, it's going to be here, right? This looks to me like an exhaustive move in yields right there. And we've got a confirmation with, a bearish divergence on the RSI. This is a weekly chart. Again, that's just my bias at the moment with the way that Bitcoin's moving, and the nature of the lack of power in this move. But again, I could be wrong, and we could most certainly, just be back testing this for a move up. We'll keep an eye on that again as the weeks progress. But the real point of confluence for yields is TLT. Okay, and why do I say that? Why do I think that we're reversing? Is because we've got a major bullish divergence here playing out in TLT. We've got the higher low on RSI weekly, and look at these oversold, right? And that's just, oversold isn't a ticket to buy, right? It's just a point of confluence. This is a higher low and a lower low in terms of price. I wouldn't take this, back test of this breakout as anything, right? This is a week. It broke out and it tested, months later. I mean, that's technically not even a retest because it's a lower low. But I just drew it in there anyway. But if there was going to be a reversal, my money is it's in this region. Okay. So with that, folks, I hope you enjoyed the video. Have a great rest of the weekend. Look forward to doing more of these. Take care.